Hello, welcome to a caster game. In the south of the map, we've got DKTTV. He's playing the Abbasid dynasty. In the blue, and to the north of the map, we have Lash playing as the English. Now, the main focus for this game, if you're up to date on the latest patches, will probably be the English. They have had a bit of a buff to the Abbey of Kings, so it now pops out a king, it trains a king immediately as it is finished building, which means its potential to get a king out incredibly early is, I think, what everyone has been going for. I've seen quite a few pros playing English trying out this strategy. I believe Aussie Drongo did a little guide on the very fast king, so we will see what Lash goes here, but I'm pretty confident he will be trying out the new Abbey of Kings strategy. So with my casts, I want to bring a slightly slower cast and maybe going over as many points as we can. So even going back to basics, you know, the counter system, going down into the stats, double checking what all of the buildings and upgrades actually do, and just trying to make it a bit more accessible to perhaps players who aren't too used to the many different things that can happen in Age of Empires 4. So for now, we see Lash with 9 workers on food and 3 on stone. So this does show that he is prioritizing that super early age up. Nothing on wood so far, the 3 on gold. I do believe you can do 9 on food and 2 on gold, and you'll still be able to get a very fast timing. It's actually the trade wing coming down for the Abbasids, as we do see the Abbey of Kings being dropped down for Lash and the English. So just to let you know what this landmark does, it heals all nearby friendly units that are out of combat by +6 every second. It will also crown a king who is a powerful cavalry leader with a healing aura. I believe his healing aura is 2 health per second, but we will double check that as he pops out. Let's take a look at what DK is doing. So he is going up with the trade wing, which is interesting. The trade post is very close to him, so he will need to send a worker out, which he is doing, to establish a market as far away as he can, and that just increases the amount that each trade will return. And we'll keep an eye on that once that finishes. The trade wing for the Abbasid should spawn some traders upon completion. It does spawn 3 as he is going up into age 2. Abbey of the Kings almost done now. Maybe 15 to 20 more seconds. Just with 4 workers. So I have seen people throw down 8 to 10 villagers on this, which gets very sub 4 minute age up timing. But Lash has gone for a fairly standard age up timing, 4 minutes 8 seconds, I think. And as we can see, the king is immediately in the queue to train. So this says a mighty king, a powerful heavy cavalry unit. It heals units 2 health every second, has heavy armor, and is strong by melee combat. And as all armored and cavalry units are, they are countered by spearmen and crossbowmen. So the Abbasid do have fairly powerful spearmen. We can see a barracks coming down. This is the correct response from DK. They have the extended reach on the Abbasid spearmen. We can see the king already moving across the map before 5 minutes. Will he head towards the gold or the stone of the Abbasid? hasn't actually decided to go for the stone. We often see Abbasid dynasty players go for that stone outcropping quite early on, as they do have access to a cheaper second town centre. Well, all town centres actually. And actually, this makes full sense why the Lash is sending out the king down to this location, and that is to interrupt the traders here. I think this must be the first trader is going the wrong direction. Not sure where he's heading off to. Interesting pathing there by the traders. But these traders all do have 70 gold in their pockets, which is a decent amount. I think this trader was just trying to give this king a bit of a run around, which he did succeed in doing for a little while, but not too long. We do also see some longbowmen, the classic English infantry unit coming down, and these will hard counter the spearmen as they are light melee infantry, and the longbowmen have +6 damage on top of their already 6 damage per shot against the light melee infantry. So we have a combination of archers and spearmen plus the king coming out for the English, and a combination of horsemen and spearmen. So both players having the correct counter units here. Horsemen looking to take down the English scout, unsuccessful in that attempt. I do believe the king managed to kill that single trader, but just one trader going down so far. Will be able to make a successful second trade, I believe, which will be very good for the Abbasid player. There'll be a lot of resources coming in. Nice massive longbowmen already. 4 down here on the field. The king charging into the trade line. This is going to be a very difficult hold for the Abbasid player. Just 2 production buildings up so far, and just nowhere near enough horsemen to counter these longbowmen. Or if he does have enough, they are not in the right location. So sadly does lose 2 traders here, unable to complete that trade. And they did have quite a lot of gold and food in their packs. I think DK has sent his initial horseman to interrupt the reinforcement line coming from the English. Nice engagement here. Lash kind of sleeping around. Gonna lose a few of his longbowmen. Spearmen are doing work against these horsemen though. And Lash is nice micro with his king. Just keeping the king alive against the horsemen and the spearmen. And will slowly heal up over time. Probably not enough to heal up against the 3 horsemen of the Abbasid player though. I think he will lose another trader, which will be the 4th one going down already in the game. But is still up 3 workers. Let's take a look at his base. Nothing on stone, nothing on gold, just relying on the traders as his gold income. But we have seen Lash is attempting to wall up the market. Is unsuccessful as the Abbasid dynasty player was able to construct a wall to stop any walling in from the English. But he's being very very persuasive with these walls. Keeping the traders at bay, but has sent now a horseman down who will dissuade this English villager from making any more walls down on that market. Lash up in the north. 1 barracks, 2 archery ranges. Continues to pump out units. Neither player amassing too much wealth at the moment, although DK does have a fair amount of food and gold in the bank. Not close enough to go up to Castle Age yet, so we'll have to deal with this potential attack coming in from Lash very shortly. Decent army size for both teams, 18 on the English side, and will soon be matched by the Abbasid player. Composition of spearmen, horsemen, and a few archers now thrown in, so good composition for both teams. This will be a tight fight. I don't think either of them have any blacksmith upgrades. Nothing for the Abbasid, and no blacksmith just yet for Lash. Lash decided to wall in his own neutral trade post I guess just to prevent the trade from trading along this west side. Some horsemen picking off the reinforcements in the middle. This is definitely something you want to do if you are playing against the English. They do have a very immobile army, so DK just using his horsemen and their mobility very well. Should be able to pick off a couple more longbowmen here. And this just helps reduce that longbowman mass that can very quickly build up when playing against the English. And they just tend to fully overwhelm you, no matter if you have the counter unit of the horsemen. Now these are counter units because they have 2 ranged armor built in, and they do +9 bonus damage to ranged units. DK doing a good job of pulling the army of Lash around. Is having to split his forces up. Both players at 25 military population. More houses going down. We do have double archery range, single barracks, single stable for our Abbasid player. But has managed to lose out a bit on the eco front. Has lost 11. That's got to be more than just traders, I imagine. And this is going to be a disaster if Lash finds all of these villagers down there. Although he did already know they were there because of the worker constructing these walls. This is going to be an awful lot of villagers lost if DK doesn't move quickly. One goes down. Another one close to going down. I think this king will definitely catch up. DK needs to move his army. Probably around the other side. That's 2 workers down. A third one down. He's now lost 14. That is a bad sign for the Abbasid player. Tries to throw a quick wall down. But could be in danger of losing more workers here. Would be good if he can clean up the English army from the backside. Nice little flank here from the Abbasid. A couple more workers do go down. Lash using his longbowmen to focus the villagers rather than the army. I think he knows here that this army is pretty much lost. Decent mass of archers for the Abbasid player now. I think they do have a faster attack speed. Same attack speed, faster movement speed, so fairly evenly matched. It's just the longbows obviously have the range advantage, so they can get a couple of volleys off before the Abbasid's archers are in range. Does look like he will clean up this little force on the back of his base. I don't know if that's enough for him to stabilize though. 34 workers to 39 now, with a very slight military advantage coming in from Lash. The king is down, so he will have to spend quite a lot of resources if he wants that back. 100 gold, 100 food, which he's almost got in the bank. I wonder if the trade is not still going for DK, so quite a heavy investment there that isn't really paying off for him. Does have 345 gold in the bank, so he must have got some trades through at some point, as I don't believe he's been mining. He's only just got sort of 550 gold from this gold mine. The army values are building up slowly again. DK is matching the number of archers just about to the English, but Lash is now working in some early men-at-arms into his army, and they will just help absorb some of that archer fire. And I mean, DK doesn't really have anything to deal with the longbowmen as the Abbasids. When you are in the feudal age, you probably want the camel archers, which you build from the archery range here. So they actually have a much higher base damage than the archer, which allows them to essentially get through the 4 armor that Lash's man-at-arms will have. But no camel archers on the field just yet. We'll have to see if DK does decide to work into that. They are very expensive though. 170 food and 60 wood. So you can get quite a few more archers wood-wise than you can camel archers. Has managed to find some safe-ish food again out onto the deer. These berries almost exhausted. And our English player is transitioning over into farms, which are cheaper for the English player. They only cost 37 wood per farm. In comparison, the Abbasid player, if I can find a villager, is 75. Which is still a little bit cheaper because he will have the fresh foodstuffs technology. And this is going to be some more villagers lost here. Going from bad to worse for our Abbasid player. It was looking to tech up to the castle age. Did find this gold vein. Managed to get 95 total gold out of it, so not too much. Army value heavily in favour of Lash now. And I do feel like this age up will just be either a bit too early or possibly too late. I don't think DK is going to have the resources to really do much with this age up, as he just doesn't have the food income at the moment. I will switch this over. Only 108 per minute. We'll get the archer upgrade into veteran, but isn't going to be able to make any gulams, or certainly not a lot of them with his current food income, which is, I mean, incredibly minimal. I think, where's he even getting food from? I don't think he's got any coming in at all, has he? 76 per minute. No one on these berries. No one on the deer. Army value, double for Lash. No king. I don't believe he replaced him. So just use the king for that early aggression, early harassment of the trade lines. And I think losing those traders early and having to go into military force quite early on just really put our Abbasid player on the back foot. A couple of longbows now sneaking into the workers. We'll take out even more of our Abbasid player's workers. He has lost 23 this game versus only the 4. Possibly a decent fight here for the Abbasid. Does have the veteran archers, so they will be doing, you know, they're doing 14 damage against the spearmen per shot and 7 against the longbows. So 10 archers would one-shot a longbowman, but he doesn't have anywhere near 10 archers over here. I think this was a bit of a final hurrah for the Abbasid player, now down to 14 military count. And he does tap out, and that's GG to our English player. I do hope you enjoyed this game. If you did, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and I'll see you in the post-game lounge. Thank you. Hey, welcome to the lounge, the post-game lounge. This is where we're just going to chill out for 5 minutes and talk about the game and how it went, what the players did well, and maybe what we can take into our own 1 versus 1 ranked games. So to start off, it seems like the English Abbey the King's fast king is pretty strong. We saw the king out at like 4 minutes 40, and it was sort of in the trade line, killing traders, killing economy of the Abbasid player by by 5 minutes 40. So pretty quick. And that's going to be a struggle to watch out for and to deal with going forward, as if English weren't a pain enough with their huge mass of longbowmen in the feudal age. So I think as the Abbasid player, he probably shouldn't have spread himself so thin. I think going trade, maybe he didn't know about the recent patch notes and the new change to the Abbey of the King. But yeah, he spread himself quite thin going for trade. Probably could have kept himself a bit tighter in his base. Maybe with the second TC would have given him a little more defensive power, and would have allowed him to get some more villagers out, more so than the English player, which would have been good. Would have kept him in the game, I think, a bit longer. Even if he did lose some workers, he would have had that second TC to fall back to, which could have been good. Could have pushed him through to the castle age, where you get some of those counter units out, maybe the Gulams, and maybe even some knights, although the English player did have some spearmen already. So Gulams, I think, would have been a good shout there. But yeah, the king looking pretty strong. What did the Abbasid player do well? Well, I think the counter units were pretty good from both sides. The Abbasid player had the horseman coupled with the spearman, and the English player had the longbow with... He had some spearmen as well. So, and the Abbasid did start to work in some archers. But I do find horseman archer tends to be a better composition against the English. If you can equal their mass of archers, you can take out the spearmen, and then the horsemen do pretty well into that longbowman mass, especially if you get some early blacksmith upgrades. The rank 1 pierce armor is always excellent against the English. But yeah, it's going to be a learning curve deciding what to do against this early king that comes out. This game was a little different because it went for the trade line, which was completely undefended by the Abbasid player. Could have sent out some horsemen, maybe would have been pretty good. But we'll try and find another game where maybe it's a bit more traditional. Villagers on the gold, villagers on the stone, and we'll see what the king does in that instance. But thanks for joining me in this caster game. Sun's coming in through my window. Probably about time to turn off the webcam. Yes, thanks for joining me on this caster game in this little post-game lounge. Like and subscribe. See you in the next one. See ya.